Morning all, and welcome back to my Bountiful Acre. My name's Sue, and today you find me in my car for a change. Normally in the greenhouse or the garden, but I've just discovered that the seeds I sowed for my peppers are not viable. I did a little test on the kitchen roll and they're just out of date, and yeah, so I think one seed germinated. So I'm going to make a quick mad dash to the garden centre. Oh dear, what a shame. And try really hard to resist buying lots of things because it's absolutely torrential rain and there's no chance of planting them. So maybe I'll just loiter in the seed section for a while. Anyway, I'll take you along with me. So let's get going. Some fabulous fan train fruit trees from Frank Matthews. The heavens have just opened again, but I've just found this jasmine that looks really pretty with little pink flowers on it. There's also a yellow-leaved one here, Golden Memories. Oh dear, this might be my downfall. I've got Cafe au lait already, so I'll walk past that one. Oh, look at that orange paradise. Isn't that beautiful? This is quite nice. Ton sur ton. Now that's a lovely combination. Quite big tubers in that too. Oh dear, 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 dear. Gosh, there's lots and lots and lots of bulbs that weren't here last time I came in. Oh, look at that. I'm going in. Oh dear. Right, peppers. I need peppers. Ah, here we go. Peppers. Chilies. No, I don't want chilies. Pretty packets, they are. Still no peppers. I want the long red Marconi peppers if at all possible. Now, I wasn't going to buy more flowers, but 5 packets for £5, gotta be done. Right, I have returned from said garden centre. How good do you think I can be? Let's see. So I went for peppers, which I failed dismally to get. I'll just have to order some online and try not to order anything else. But what I did get are some bulbs, needless to say. So the first on my list is ranunculus. Aren't they such a beautiful colour? They are called Purple Heart and just look amazing. Haven't grown those before actually, so that will be something. I opted for only one. Only one variety of dahlia because I have got some on order already, and I have some in the greenhouse obviously. And I got Dahlia Breakout because I've got a peachy sort of theme going on near to the new flower border. So yeah, Dahlia Breakout, isn't she a beautiful colour? And she's a big blousy one. I do like the big blousy ones. I'm not very keen on the sort of spiky cactusy ones for some reason. I actually got 3 of those because I don't believe in planting things in ones. They didn't have the peppers, but I did get this Cosmos, which isn't that beautiful. I've never seen one that frilly before. Double Click Cranberry it's called. And that's my kind of colour, isn't it? And then when I went into the National Trust seed section, which I've loved their seeds and their seed packets, they're obviously selling them off. So last time I went in, I think it was 6 packets for £10. Well, now it's 5 packets for £5. So they really are selling them off. But they only had a limited stock of 2 sort of shelving units of just flowers. So like I really needed more flowers, eh? So I bought some more of the Beaujolais sweet peas because my old ones didn't germinate. I've got silver grass. I got some forget-me-nots. I know they self-seed everywhere, but I do love them. I got some Orange King California poppies. They also self-seed, but I'm happy to have that. All of these are pollinator friendly, apart from the grass obviously. And I got some more Cosmos Purity White ones. I've got plenty of flowers. I do not need to buy any more flowers, right? If I say I'm going to the garden centre, just, give me a little nudge and tell me, no, Sue, you're not allowed to buy any more seeds. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with those. I think they're going to look fabulous. On the plus side, I was quite well behaved because I did not buy that jasmine. Not because I didn't want it, but because it's absolutely torrential rain outside and I can't plant things I've already got. So I'm just going to hang fire and I'll wait until it dries up a little bit and I've got somewhere specific to plant it. Maybe in the veggie garden even, because that would be lovely over the arbour. And they smell amazing. So if I can do it in the arbour closest to the back door when you go out, that's going to be fabulous at night time. So yeah, that's my plan. So we better get to some seed sowing. Hey, I'm not going to do these ones today. I have already planned which ones I'm going to do today and I'll show you them now. This week, early February, I'm going to be sowing loofah, but I am also going to put off sowing my tomatoes until later in the month. But I'm mostly this week, which is the second week of February, going to be doing flowers. Cobalt blue salvias, and I'll put the picture up on the screen next to it for you. I'm going to do some Amimegus bishop's flower, some cassis, common yarrow basically, Limonium latifolium or sea lavender stasis as it's called. I'm going to sow the paper scarlet flower, a straw flower, the one that it turns into a dried flower. I'm going to do Tagetes burning embers, which are a dark reddy orange, and I'm going to do some Cupid's dart, which are a lovely little blue daisy type flower, also to attract some pollinators. So those are this week's flowers. I have got a lot of flowers to sow, and I'm just going to do up this tray with all of those, a line of each for now I think, but I'm not going to bore you with more seed sowing. That's just what I'm going to do today. I have just quite quickly changed my plan because 3 of these packets are hardy perennials and I've got a hardy annual as well. So I'm going to do hardy seeds in here and then this whole tray can go in the greenhouse. And the half hardy ones I will put in a smaller tray, which are the Tagetes and straw flowers. Oh, no mouse today. Marvellous. I've brought in the shelf. It does need a good clean, but I need to sort out the greenhouse. It's getting very untidy. Hello, Bonbon. How are you this morning? Are you a good girl today? Are you? Yes, you're always a good girl, apart from the mud, aren't you? Yes, so I want to get some of these tulip pots and things out, even if I put them up against the wall outside and cover them with a fleece. And hopefully I'm going to get this bench out because I want to set up the racking on this side. I think I showed you in the last video, or certainly in a post, that I'd sown my leeks. They haven't come up yet. I've sown some artichoke and blue poppies in there. That is more Zabron shallots. They're not up yet. I think I may take them indoors just to trigger them a little bit. And then I did sow some Amimegus, yarrow, sea lavender and Cupid's dart, which I think you will have seen in this video. The foxgloves we transplanted last week are doing fine, as are the grasses and the snapdragons. I did set a trap last night. It hasn't triggered anything, although something has been in the day before and eaten one of my chitting potatoes. So there's definitely something around. I just haven't caught it. So the rhubarb can probably go outside as well. We're not forecast any frosts for the next week, just rain. So if I put them under a little bit of shelter, these pots will be fine. They're all hardy anyway, so I can clear some space and then I can utilise these bottom shelves a bit better. I can put some of these bigger pots underneath close to the windows, and then I've got work surface for more seedlings. I have just bought out the home saved orange grass seeds that I grew. They've been in the bathroom window, but they are hardy, so they can come out. And I think if I get the time today, I'm going to prick those out into individual cells, and then I've got another seed tray. I've also got my loofah seeds soaking in the kitchen window, so they'll do those later as well. The first thing I'm going to do is take my secateurs over to that fence where I pruned all those roses back a while back, and the one that had the winter flowering clematis I can now cut back because it has finished flowering, and I can cut the rose back. So I'll go and find a bag and we'll go and do a little bit of pruning. Just thought I'd show you that big glowy ball in the sky. Kind of forgotten what it is. As you can see, it is very, very muddy out here, isn't it, Bonnie? Look at the state of her feet. It is exceptionally squelchy, so I really do need to keep off it as much as possible. And I haven't dug any more of this border because yesterday it was just full of puddles and it's just not fit to be walking on it or anything. So this is going to be put back on the back burner for now because, as you can see, the tree around there has got water puddling around it. Rose is still looking okay though, but that is slightly raised out of the quagmire. Another job I need to tackle, possibly this week, even while it's raining to be honest, is to jet wash this patio. And to be fair, you're going to get soaking wet anyway doing it, so I might as well do it while the weather's terrible, eh? So I'm going to get my trug and head on over to the fence. As you can see, it is heading for the sky. And the clematis is now finished. The flowers are practically over. So I may lose some flowers next year, but I need to bring it all back down to a level where you can see it. As you can see, I've got a lot of old wood here, which is heading up over next door and all the way along. I think I'm actually going to take this out quite low down, maybe somewhere down here. There seems to be an old bud there, so if I take it out there to start with, it'll pull quite a lot of the top down with it. This is relatively new growth, nice and green, but it has got lots of big ones at the back there that need taking out. Right, so I've set you up in the tree. Cue the time lapse. Now that I have freed up a bit of this area, I'm going to go and get my loppers because these are a bit too thick for my secateurs. So I'm going to cut this off. It's quite an old stem, that. I think I'm going to cut that off right to the bottom. This one's not so bad. That one looks dead. So, and it's crossing behind this one, so I'm going to cut that off as well. I'm going to cut this bit off, and I'm going to cut this off down to here, I think. Maybe this bud here even. So that would remove this last bit that's sticking up in the air. Right, I'm going to take this one out right at the bottom, I think, but I'll chop this bit off here first, if I can. It just feels so horrible killing things off, but it's for its own good. I might take it down to this one and then it can come out along the bottom here. Now that is quite a big piece. It goes all the way up there. I don't think I'm going to get it from behind. Oh, I might do. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it from behind there without chopping it. Right, there we go. Oh, there was a little bit of clematis still left. Well, that looks a bit bare now, doesn't it? But there's still some dead wood there and dead wood down there, and I need to prune to make it go where I want it now, so just a bit of titivating. Right, I have cleared that. The honeysuckle has lots of buds at this level, so that can spread along the sides here. This, I think, is still dead, so I'm going to prune that back, although there doesn't appear to be a live shoot amongst it. They all look fairly rotten. I'm not sure whether this is growing out of our garden, because there just seem to be some leaves similar there, or whether it's come over from the neighbours, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Okay, a little bit sparse, but it's, you know, February. But I've pruned back to some healthy growth. I'm not entirely sure about that one there yet, though. That one's got some nice shoots. This one is growing, even from the darker wood. This one I pruned last time. I need to tie the branches down now where I want them. This one might have to go because I don't know if I can actually bend it far enough. Actually, I might put it through this hook because that's a bit sturdier than the wire. Yeah, I can bring that one down to there. That would be good. Let's do that. That needs pruning off a little bit there, and then this one, I can take the back stem off there. There's a little bud here, So I will get that there. Take that one off. Well, that's quite a nice fan shape, I think. Oh dear, I'm bleeding. Tie that to there, I think, with the honeysuckle. I don't actually know what colour this rose is. I'm hoping it's a nice one now I've trained it. Well, I'm going to transplant those. I've also had this compost warming in the house, and I had my loofah seeds soaking overnight, so I'm going to sow those into this pot. Haven't grown loofahs before, but fingers crossed. I think they would make fabulous like pan scrubbers instead of those plastic ones that you get everywhere, as well as the usual traditional version which you use for using in the bath. I also got, while I was buying the tree last weekend, I forgot about these, we got a bag full of gladioli bulbs. They're a mixture of white and deep dark red, blood red purpley colour. And it was £5 to fill a bag, which I thought was a bargain because we got quite a lot in, as you can see. I am going to put most of these in the border when it's stood, but it's still way too wet. So I've just brought them in here so they don't start sprouting in the house. Okay, as I say, I've had this compost warming in the house, and I'm just going to dib a hole. I've got 6. The packet says there's 10, but we're actually 12 in there to allow for germination issues, I suppose. I'm going to dib a little hole, so 6 little holes, get them in. And there's the seeds. On edge, I assume, the same as you would with cucumbers and the like. So I'm just pushing them in on the side so they don't rot away. The compost is already damp, and hopefully I don't need 6, but I don't know how good the germination is, so we'll just cover that back over. Just going to add a little bit more vermiculite to the top. Now, I forgot to say that loofah do need heat to germinate, 25 to 28 degrees it says, because they are a tropical plant. And I don't know if you know, but loofahs are edible when they're young. I might try 1 or 2, but mostly I'm growing them for the actual sponges. Now then, I have done 1 tray. They're very small, I hope you can see them. And they have got a very small root at the moment. So what I'm going to do is leave it at 1 tray, let these grow on a little bit longer, but in here in the greenhouse. So they'll probably slow down a little bit now, to be honest. While I was putting those on the shelf, I've just noticed, I don't know if you can see, little shoots on my Hungarian blue poppies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's at least 9 there, so that's very, very good. I'm really pleased about that. No sign of my artichokes yet, but I've only sowed them about, it was 3 days ago, and they've been in here. It's been about 10 degrees during the day and about 4 or 5 degrees at night time, so perfect. They're doing great. I've just noticed I've got long-tailed tits on the fat balls. Here we go, little lollipop sticks. I'm just going to take you up the garden to have a look at the woodland, because despite the weather, where I thought all those bulbs I planted were just going to rot away in this quagmire of a garden, I don't know if you can see, there's all little bulbs coming up over here, there's some along here, we've got little ones coming up all over now, all the way to the back. In fact, I think there's 3 Camassias up in the corner there and underneath the tree area. But just thought I'd show you this. The little hellebores that I planted. This one's got a little red bud coming on, isn't it lovely? Despite the squirrels and the dogs, we have got bulbs all the way through here and all the way under the tree. As I say, I think they're the Camassias. I'm not sure entirely, but I think that's what they are. So I'm really pleased about that. And even on this side, which really didn't get done till the last minute, they've got bulbs coming up. We have suffered 1 casualty though, and that is the twisted hazel. Unfortunately, because it was just 1 stick sticking up out of the ground, Bonnie ran towards it and snapped it off. Snapped it clean off. It's there, the root, whether it'll grow another stem, I don't know. One of the things I have done though is I've been onto the Woodland Trust. An advert came up on, I don't know, it was Instagram or something, offering packs of saplings. So this area is quite wet. As you can see, we've got water around the base of most of these trees. I suspect this is dead for that very reason. But underneath this hornbeam is a bit drier, as you would expect, because it's probably taking up some of the moisture. And also between these silver birch, again, probably for the same reason. So in the pack, we have 5 field maples, 5 hazels, and 5... Now then, what was the third one? Rowans. There's different packs you can choose by area, so England, Scotland, west of the country. I chose the English one because I wanted hazel. I know that rowan will do well in this garden because it doesn't mind damp. The hazel possibly needs a slightly drier and more freer draining soil, but I can find a drier spot for those. But they are only going to be little saplings between, I don't know, 25 and 60 centimetres, so just sticks basically. So I might put them in pots to start with, grow them on a little bit, and then find a best spot for them. I do want to plant trees all the way around and to join it up with the silver birch area over there. But the woodlandy bit we've planted so far, I'm really pleased with how it's going. I mean, obviously it's all very low level, but hopefully as the spring and summer progress, we'll get more things growing. Now, the rowan that we had bought that I mentioned in last week's video, I'm thinking I might plant about here, because it's far enough away from the maple, and also it'll cast more shade onto this middle area between the 2 willow trees. Now, as you can see, we have had a lot of rain recently, but the pond is well full, well overflowing into the bog area. And I came down because my sister-in-law, who's in Scotland, said she heard the frogs croaking last night. So I was hoping that I might have some frogs down here. I have to say, since we've been here, I haven't seen a single frog. Right, I've just commandeered one of these, what usually has a zippy cover over shelving system. I'm going to put that up in here as well as this metal shelf. I've also found these in the big shed up the top. So I've got some more seed trays and some more base trays for pots to go into. They seem to have grown since last weekend. Is it my imagination? That little bit of water seems to have sorted them out. I'm going to move the bench out into the garage, I think, or actually I might order a cover and then it can just stay outside. I don't want it to get ruined before we even use it. We were going to start building the raised beds, but I think what we're going to do first is put a path out from the back door where the raised beds would be, and we'll build part of it and bring it out here and up to the greenhouse, because obviously coming backwards and forwards up here all the time is getting really bad. Look at the state of this now. I'm trying to walk on a different spot each time, but it's really messy. The other job I need to do is cut back those black currants. So I will do that, but first of all I'm going to have to go and hose down the dogs. Just taken delivery of this box. It might be a free gift that I got with a subscription to Gardeners World magazine. They've got a spring bundle on at the moment. So for £28 6-month subscription, which, you know, it's worth having the magazine anyway, but you also get a new budgeon and ball trowel, a pair of secateurs, and a little caddy, to hold all your tools and things while you're gardening. So I think these cost about £14 or something. So to be honest, if we add up the secateurs, the caddy and the trowel, that's your £28 back, probably twice over, to be honest. Yeah, so I've just done a little tally up. £23.95, £20 and some odd pence for the secateurs, and £12.99 for the trowel. So, you know, 28 quid plus 6 months magazine. And Bonnie thinks they're fabulous, don't you, Bon Bon? I'm really pleased with that. That's fabulous. I think there's some seeds as well, but they come with the magazine.